The passage we're reflecting on today is from Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 to 15, Moses and the burning bush. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, and why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I've heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I'm concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians has reached me. And I've seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? Then what shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me, from generation to generation. Please excuse one or two little blips there in my reading. I don't know what's the matter with my eyesight, and it started raining all of a sudden as well. But anyway, here we go. So the story of Moses and the burning bush. Someone said to me once that Moses spent 40 years learning to be somebody in the court of Pharaoh, 40 years in the wilderness learning to be a nobody, and then 40 years leading everybody. So here we are, probably when he's about 80, nearing the end of the second phase of that sort of period of his life. And he has this incredible encounter with God in this burning bush. I was listening to the prayers that Mike Beard offered a friend from church earlier today, and he made the statement that the everyday things of this world are saturated with God's extraordinary love. What a powerful statement that is, that in the ordinary things we can encounter, meet, and even hear the voice, dare we say it, of God as he speaks to us out of his great love for us. Someone also said that the Bible actually was demonstrated in creation. Before anything was written down, that creation was the first Bible. If we will look at the natural world around us, we will hear God speak. we will observe the natural patterns of the universe and see God was at work. And part of me wonders, as far as Moses hearing God speak to him from that burning bush, whether in fact God hadn't been speaking all the time for that burning bush. This was just the first time that Moses happened to notice it. And I wonder how much we miss. I wonder how much of what God wants to say to us we're too busy to observe or to listen to or to take notice of. It was Elizabeth Barrett Browning who said, "Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit around and pluck blackberries." In other words, unless we take the time to notice, we will miss what God has got to say. And we might well look at creation and think, oh, what a beautiful sunset. Oh, what a lovely tree that is. Oh, what a gorgeous bloom I've just spotted in my garden. Oh, look at the face of that child. Isn't it just beautiful? All those things are great, of course. But are we willing, I wonder, for each of those moments to be a burning bush, for us to actually come face to face with God and what he wants to say to us? It's been really interesting listening to people's lockdown stories, I find, and many people have commented that during lockdown they've just had more time to stop and listen and think and maybe reflect on what God is saying to us through the things that are all around us. 3 brief thoughts on this passage, and they both begin with a C. The first is curiosity. Moses was curious. It was his curiosity that led him to go and investigate further what that strange sight was all about. And when he was prepared to pursue his curiosity, that was when God spoke to him. I wonder what you're curious about. I ask myself, what am I curious about at this time? What do I want to know more about in terms of who God is? How do I answer the question that Kalantha has asked us this week about who would we say Jesus is? Are we curious to find out more about Jesus? Are people around us, in our villages, in our communities, having their curiosity aroused because of what they witness in us, and hopefully the faith that we demonstrate at this time? The second C is for calling. What's he calling us to? As we pursue our curiosity, what is it that he's calling us to get involved with? I wonder, some new thing, some new way of getting involved in church life. Maybe as you fill in your questionnaires, there might be an area of church life that you'd like to discuss with Kalantha that you're keen to find out more about. Maybe you'd like to join one of the small groups that are starting. And how has God been preparing you? Don't forget, he was preparing Moses for a long time before he actually called him to do that specific task of leading the people, leading the children of Israel from slavery into freedom. And then thirdly, of course, it's about commission. God commissions us, but he also partners with us. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And if he gives us a task to do, he'll give us all that we need to do it. To close, here's a poem that Eugene Peterson wrote based on this passage. How great you are, Lord, greater than my mind can imagine. Give me the humility to see my life in reference to yours, to see how small and insignificant I am, how feeble and weak, and yet for such a small and insignificant person as me, you humble yourself to seek me out, to speak to me and to send me out to speak for you. How humbling that is, Lord, and how ennobling. Give me the courage to represent such an awesome God as you. God bless you.